I'm Daniel Potts, and I'm a neurologist from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We are thrilled to be in Beverly Hills this evening, November the 5th, 2010, for Painting in Twilight, an artist's escape from Alzheimer's disease. We're grateful to David Streets for hosting the story and the art that celebrate the life of an Alzheimer's patient who became a watercolor artist in the throes of Alzheimer's disease. Lester Potts was my father. He was a wonderful utilitarian child of the Great Depression. He was born in rural Alabama. He grew up sawmilling, he grew up farming, he knew hard work, he knew ethics, and he knew love as a child. He grew up poor, but he learned the value of hard work and he learned the value of keeping your word. He was a righteous man, he was a wonderful father, and wonderful husband. He grew up in Pickens County, Alabama all of his life. He became a civic leader, he was a church leader, he was a Little League coach, just an all-around great community pillar. At about age 70 or 71, Lester got Alzheimer's disease. He was diagnosed about a year later, and he had a very rapid course of progression. He lost his language ability, he lost most of his functional ability, and he was very pitiful. Quit smiling. Caring Days Adult Daycare Center is a daycare for dementia patients in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's the longest running one in Alabama and a model for the nation. Lester went to Caring Days, a broken man, and he emerged from Caring Days as an artist because of the power of art and music therapy and storytelling and reminiscence and drama in this man's life. He was transformed. And he went from brokenness to beauty. He went from loss of ability to burgeoning creativity because those folks cared about him. So Lester painted over 100 watercolors, never having painted before. Those were watercolors that depicted his life, his childhood, things he was proud of, things he was grateful for, his life in the sawmill. And we now have most of those, at least the print versions of those. Because of the story and the power of this art, people have heard about it, including the American Academy of Neurology. David Streets found out about this from Merrill Platzer, who's a neurologist here in Los Angeles and a friend of mine, a fellow advocate with the American Academy of Neurology. And Merrill arranged for this art showing. And here we are, a day after Dad's 82nd birthday. He died in 2007. And we're showing this man's art to the world, and we're so proud of him and we're so happy. And our family's grateful to David Streets and Merrill Platzer and everyone else who was involved in this. What would Dad say about this event? We were talking about that earlier. The great irony that a rural Alabama sawmiller who had never painted is having his art displayed at one of the finest galleries in the country. Is amazing. First of all, I think he would chuckle. I think he would laugh. I think he would get with his brother who passed away a year ago and his favorite brother-in-law who passed away before he did, and they'd all be together laughing about it because it's just so amazing. And second of all, I think that he would say, I'm very honored and I'm proud that you all find value in what I created. It came out of the beauty of my soul. I couldn't tell you who I was anymore, but somebody gave me a paintbrush and a canvas so that I could express myself to the world. Thank God for that and enjoy the me that y'all never knew. He was early on affected severely with the Alzheimer's disease. He lost his language ability, but so Dad became unable to really kind of tell us how he was feeling and communicate very well with us early on. By middle stage disease, 3 or 4 years into the illness, it was very hard for him to complete a sentence. This is when the art began to emerge. Out of this broken language came this wonderful creativity, which is one of the amazing things about the art, I think. It said to me that he was grateful for his life, that he was proud of the things he's accomplished, that he loved his childhood, that he had things to still express to us even though a lot of the population, a lot of society writes off Alzheimer's patients. Why do we need to do research? Why do we need to provide care? They're basically brain dead. I hear that term at times. They're not. They're still human beings. They have emotional selves. They have stories to tell. Lester was trying to tell us his story. I learned so much about caregiving from this experience. I learned so much about validating humanity, validating human beings. I learned so much about the gifts that we all have deep inside. Even if we are broken on the outside, even if our cognition is broken, we still have talents and gifts that have to emerge. And I need to listen to those people. I need to give them opportunities to tell their story through the arts. And that's what we're trying to do. The goal of Cognitive Dynamics Foundation is to improve quality of life in the cognitively impaired, primarily through the expressive arts therapies, music, visual art, drama, literature, poetry, storytelling. And in so doing, enrich these people's lives, enable them to tell their story, and give respite to the caregivers. So many people need this, and we want to try to bring this to these folks.
Left frontotemporal area, more so than back here. So
I would want somebody to take away from this show that Lester Potts, my dad, these little kitties' grandfather, and this wonderful caregiving woman's husband was a wonderful, deeply rich, loving, beautiful human being. He had a soul that was beautiful. Yes, he was afflicted, but this man would have actually willingly submitted himself to the throes of Alzheimer's disease if he thought he could bring other people beauty and love, and if his life could be a ministry to them. So I would tell people to come away knowing that Lester Potts was that kind of guy, and the arts brought it out. So let's go out and do that for the world.